Welcome back to this episode of the Game Set Mash podcast. I am JB, your host, and I'm with Todd from Bourbon and Chris from the Right Pour, and we got another episode. And what are we drinking today, boys? That's our first topic of today.
I'm going with Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel. We'll tell you why later, but that's what I'm drinking.
Yep.
I'm going Bardstown Origin Series High Wheat.
And I'm going John J. Bowman Single Barrel 100 Proofer. Fantastic.
Fantastic.
If you can find them, don't overpay for them, but if you can find them for about $60, they're fantastic pour.
I had one yet. Well, I opened mine yesterday. It's so dang good.
Yeah, they are really good. I bought a couple backups during COVID or when it was still not as accessible for a good price, and I was just like, "Yep, cool."
I
Take
forgot
it.
how good that was.
Yeah, no, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into our NFL and NCAA football segment. And this week's big winners to me were the Bills and the Jags, both in commanding leads. And my losers this week, it was a tough week. It was actually a very competitive week. My losers this week were the Seahawks. Sam Darnold did not look good. 4 interceptions. And obviously the Chargers did not look good. I know the Chargers are riddled with injuries, but it's been tough on the Chargers. It's always tough to go to the East Coast too. And that's why in the football pool, I always pick the team that's playing on the East Coast versus a West Coast team.
I also think that why do we keep sending this shit-ass overseas games? They're going to cancel overseas games.
Yeah.
They are so bad.
They really are, though. Like, everyone that I've seen lately has just been so terrible. I'm like, I feel bad for the people over there. We're like trying to give our best product.
I don't think
No, we ain't.
we're giving our best product.
No,
I think our best product was Brazil. It was the first game of the season, and it was Eagles, Packers, and the Packers have not been good since.
Yeah,
so
that was a
I'll tell you
good
that.
game, but a lot of them
That
have
was
just
good.
kind of been sloppy or else a blowout. You know, that's what's been the weirdest part for me.
Yeah, it's been a weird one. I think somehow the Dolphins have been winning. I don't know if they're winning in good games by any means, but they are winning, so I'll give them that credit.
It's because I said I was out on them. I was selling them. And as soon as I freaking said that, then they started doing good again.
Same thing happened
You
with
cursed
the
it.
Jets for you, too. Same thing happened
The
with the
Jets
for you,
too, but they really caught hold and they really got back into their
they
suck
came
era.
back down to earth. Yeah, they came back down to earth.
They
for
forgot
sure.
they were the goddamn Jets for a second.
Yeah, exactly.
Brief moment in history.
Yeah, but this week,
yeah.
like with pick'ems and stuff, it was such. I thought the Chargers were going to beat the Jags. The Jags played great. I thought a lot of these games were going to go differently. I did not. It was a really weird week as far as like what teams I thought were going to do good. But it's kind of been the story of the whole year. Injuries and just weird play, weird teams doing good at the wrong times or right times, I guess you could say. But it's just been a very weird year so far. But yeah, NFL, the funniest part was Jamar Chase. Can we get to that
Jamar
right
Chase
away?
is on my list to talk about for sure. Yeah, he was on the list.
I got to get that. That's the second incident of spitting this year. Did you watch
It's bad, too.
Did you watch the interview of him in the locker room afterwards, after the game? And he's like, I didn't spit on nobody. I wouldn't do that. I'm like, did you forget that the NFL is entirely on camera? Like,
yeah, they hand out fines
that.
like 3 weeks later when they actually get to the film. It's crazy. If you see the envelope in your locker, you got a fine. That's just, it is what it is.
I don't think, I'm glad they suspended him because didn't they suspend Ramsey for a game too? I know he got ejected. No, he just got ejected. He didn't get suspended for a game. So I'm glad that they suspended Jamar Chase. Even though he's trying to appeal it, I'm glad that they suspended him because I get you're a star, you're one of the top 2 receivers in the league, but you did kind of start that shit.
Also, they should not approve that appeal, like, at all.
I don't think they will. They can't. If they approve that, they lose a lot of credibility.
Pandora's box wide open.
Yeah, for sure.
Everyone's just going to be, fucking Haley. Just bring Haley Welsh and put her in a fucking outfit and let her spit on their things.
Jeez, my goodness.
Jeez, my goodness. All right, Grandma.
I don't know what to say.
All right, rice and cheese.
Bring it up. Oh, shucks. It's like the one colleague I have that says heavens to Betsy, and I'm just like, what? What did you just say?
Heavens to Betsy. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I ain't heard that one in forever.
That's a generational one for sure.
She's not even like 50. She's like mid 40s. It's hilarious.
Heavens to Betsy.
Oh, she hung out with her grandma a lot.
So what other? I know injuries this week. What happened this week? Aaron Rodgers hurt his non-throwing hand. We don't know what that is yet, right?
Yeah, we don't know what that is. It'd be funny. I saw a meme today though. If Joe Flacco goes to Pittsburgh to relieve since Joe Burrow is coming back, then he would get the Infinity Stone of all the AFC North, which I thought was hilarious.
Kind of want to see it happen.
But
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed.
yeah, Michael Penix out for the season was probably the big one that kind of showed up. Not anything else that really stood out to me for any season endings, but it's still a lot.
Oh, Calvin Ridley.
Lot of injuries.
Calvin Ridley broke his fibula.
Yep.
And
that's a bad one.
That one's he's done for at least a year.
Was there one more like high profile guy?
There was.
I don't know.
There's a little not an injury, but along the lines of high profile wide receivers, Justin Jefferson, he's something to watch over the next week or two because he seemed pissed off, and there's a lot of stupid talk on Twitter and all this about him being unhappy and isn't going to be with the Vikings for much longer. But at the same time, he did just do kind of an interview where he said he wanted to be there. So that frustration is kind of interesting and fun to watch.
It always is fun to watch because the same thing happened to Micah Parsons. He was like, I want to stay in Dallas.
Mm-hmm. No,
they traded him like 2 weeks later.
So we'll see. But other than that, NFL is just it's funny, like we went relatively unscathed as far as injuries, and we had some. So that's crazy.
Yeah, we had a couple. My games to look forward this weekend are the Bucks Rams. Going to be a good one. See if the Bucks, even with the injuries, can show up a little bit. Actually, speaking of the Bucks, I don't know if you guys know this. Sean Tucker, the running back, who's now the second string with Bucky Irving out, is actually a hometown boy. He's a hometown boy. 3 touchdowns. Great game against the Bills. I know they didn't pull out the win, but definitely a great game.
I know that a lot of people that don't follow me on TikTok for my live sit starts, I told people to sit Tucker like a motherfucker because I did not see. I mean, granted, that it's an outlier. If you look at his scores, he hasn't had anything in double digits, so it's most likely sit. He broke that big run. He had a game. They went hot hand and made me look stupid.
Mm-hmm. He brought a sense of speed and energy to a backfield of just Rachaad White. And honestly, I said it about Sean Tucker, like I think last season, that he probably could be a number 2 receiver, if not possibly a starting receiver, or starting running back or second string running back in any other team. But Bucks have a loaded backfield.
They do, because Rachaad White could start for another team. Tucker could be a backup for another team. Bucky could start for. They have a great backfield, and they have a good team all around. I actually thought they were going to beat the Bills, but the Bucks started out really slow and looked really, really off.
Yeah, Bucks are just, I think, so injury riddled that they're just not going to put up enough of a fight. But the next matchup to look forward to was the Colts, the Chiefs.
That's what I was just going to say.
Yeah, Chiefs have not looked great this season. I'm interested to see how they play against the Colts, who've been pretty good this season besides, I want to say, a game or two. And that was obviously the Steelers have a good defense, so they gave them a run for their money on that part, we actually had a comment on TikTok, I think. Oh, yeah. It was like, Daniel Jones played great the other day. What are you talking about? And I was like, sorry, sir, we record every 2 weeks. This is Steelers against Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones did not play well.
Yeah, our time framing is a little bit off for if you're watching it when we're a week behind and generally talking about a week or two of matchups. So it makes it a little more interesting.
Yeah. And divisional rival Packers, Vikings, interested to see because the Vikings, I didn't know how the Vikings would be this year, but the Packers were supposed to be a star-studded team and have not lived up to the hype, barely beating the Giants this past weekend. So interesting one, but let's head over to NCAA, our past weekend winners. I got the Georgia Bulldogs and I got Oklahoma Sooners. Bites me to say that one as a Bama fan, but Oklahoma's had our number the last couple of years. I do blame my neighbor or my one buddy who's a Crimson Tide alumni that has gone to both the Oklahoma games in the last 2 years, and they've lost both the games. So I'm blaming this on him. But
yeah, he was at that one.
He was at that one too. He was at Oklahoma last year, and then this year at Alabama. And I said, it's your fault. So, and he knows it.
Bad luck.
He knows.
He's bad luck.
He knows.
Simple
he knows.
Yeah, that was the biggest news from the past week. Well, actually, biggest news for the past 2 weeks. If we're going to stick in NCAA, I know we're not talking much about the Heisman because it hasn't changed much, but Fernando Mendoza is moving up my board after what he did back-to-back weeks against Penn State and then against Wisconsin. Did you see the catch at the back of the end zone against Penn State? Omar Cooper. Was his name Omar?
I will say this: Ohio
I saw the
State
highlight of
nor Indiana have not really played that many good teams, so that's my if factor. For
No,
that.
but he looks good, and he's definitely trying to put his name in there because I think they have him in the top 3. But that's what
it's been him saying and Ty Simpson the whole season pretty much so far.
So that's what I'm looking.
It's a tight race
as far as his upcoming next week or two in between this and the next episode is basically just him. See how he keeps performing, because I'd love an underdog to kind of take the Heisman. Would be kind of cool.
Well, that and I don't know. I've been saying the whole season, but Ohio State really hasn't played anybody. Like, they haven't played a single good team. Like, they're blowing everybody out because they're not playing anybody good.
Yeah, they've had an easier schedule compared to a lot of other teams out there for the NCAA.
Yeah, I mean, their hardest opponent has been Texas. It was the first game of the season. They won. Wasn't a great performance, but it's always the first game of the season. It's sort of tough. Texas has been like either super hot or the cold as freaking Antarctica cold. So I can't really say it was because like Georgia ended up destroying Texas on the paper. It wasn't that. It was not a blowout until the end of the game, but
I would say it was kind of a bad first 3 quarters. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm interested to see, with those two not playing anybody, Mendoza or Sayin, who wins that versus those two, versus strength of schedule and numbers.
That's why I'm looking forward to the college playoffs. It's going to really show you.
Yeah,
it's going to be good.
College playoff 12 playoff bracket, which I'm excited about. 12 teams, and this weekend's matchups are not the greatest. Not too excited. The top 25 is not really playing a lot of teams. Got teams playing the Citadel for the 12th time. It feels like. The only one that I looked forward to was Oregon USC, old Pac-12 matchup, now Big Ten matchup. So we'll see how they do. And the last topic for NCAA I had, it was James Franklin hired at Virginia Tech.
I know.
Interesting one. I'm not the biggest Franklin fan.
No, neither am I, being a Penn State fan.
Yeah, I just don't. I always thought he was kind of an asshole. Just plain simple. But interested to see what he does with that Virginia Tech program. They have not been the greatest as of late.
Definitely on the watch list. See how that turns out.
Yeah, I mean, you see Bill Belichick go to places, these high-profile targets. North Carolina's not the greatest. I'm not going to blame it on this first season. That's something to watch.
His first season wasn't the greatest there, but I think if he stays, he's going to have a really good season next year.
I think he'll have a better recruiting potential for future. So, anything else you guys want to add to that?
Not really.
No?
Yeah, NCAA
Okay.
is not a lot that I'm like,
we're in this.
We're in this
part.
this.
Yeah, we're in this part of the season now where baseball's done, football is in the middle. We really only have a couple things to talk about. It's UFC, and we're heading over to UFC. What you got over there, Chris?
Man, you watched those fights too. That was
the preliminaries
awesome.
For sure.
Except for the dang title fights. Those were a joke. Those were just, I had high hopes for them and they were just terrible.
I think we were texting about it during Saturday night when they were going on.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, it was 45 minutes of them just rolling around. Like, there was some technical stuff, but it wasn't anything good. But man, I don't know, I thought if you saw any of the highlights, but the spinning elbow, there was a nasty kick from Bo.
I saw the spinning elbow.
Knocked it out.
I didn't see the kick.
Yep. Well, and it's funny with the spinning elbow. Oh, who was it? What was his name? But he was just like, his face had been going around on a meme where like the guy's on his back and he's just like pounding his face. He's just like, all right, man, like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
that was hilarious. But it was good. But I think the biggest fight of the night was actually Dillon Danis over here.
Not even in the octagon.
Not even in the octagon. He's just like, I'm going to fight all of Islam's crew. Let's go. Getting himself banned for life from UFC. I was going to say, that's
events.
Right.
I forgot he was punished for that. Like, pretty severe.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, I guess, like, he had a ticket, and he refused to go to his seat and decided to go sit in the fighter section, and Dana was like, yeah, whatever. Like, he was busy and just didn't think it through. And then the guy started the fights, and he's like, I'm not going to press charges, but you are done. You're not allowed here anymore.
I will say I do like UFC fights in the Garden. It's that historic atmosphere. I watched a bunch of the preliminary fights. There wasn't. I mean, Georgia was on, but they were blowing out Texas. So I was watching a lot of the preliminaries for the UFC. It was a lot of good matchups.
Yeah, the matchups were way better on the prelims. I think for this pay-per-view event, like, I bought it and I'm glad I did. But like, up until the co-main and the main, it was way better. I mean, I think
Mhm.
3 of the prelim fights got fight bonuses. I don't think anything in the pay-per-view actually did.
Yeah, the
Like, that
who was it?
shows how
Klein.
this
Klein had
card
a
was
great
stacked.
win.
Yeah.
Klein had
Yep.
a great
Klein
win
had,
over a ranked opponent, so that was a good one. I
and she's a
watched that
hometown
one.
girl. She was from like White Plains or something like that. Like, she ain't far from New York City. So like, fighting at home, was really cool to see her take the win as a hometown girl.
Mm.
But also, fun stat here, they made $13.6 million in
Jeez.
ticket sales.
That is crazy.
That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Over 20,000 people. They had a sellout crowd. Like, it was it was like, when you're talking about the Garden and how good the fights are, it is proving. I think Dana
Yeah.
said in the next 3 or 4 years, they could potentially hold the top 10 highest paid events or highest gross earned
At the
events
Garden.
at the Garden. Yeah. Like, UFC is just taking over the Garden at this point.
UFC
Yeah.
is very popular.
I will say, like, you got St. John's plays at the Garden. You got the Rangers. You got the Knicks. I mean, I'd rather watch UFC than all of those guys. So it's the Garden's fun. I've been there for concert. It's definitely historic. It's definitely that retro vibe.
Back in
It
the
was,
day, when the Knicks were the Knicks, like they drew a crowd, but
Yeah.
with
Now, not so much.
basketball is just not as fun anymore.
No, and with inflation,
'Cause
it's
I
not
went-
like they could
NBA.
bring it anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like, I went to a Knicks game earlier this year. We got like free tickets, so we flew up to go, and I was like, it's awesome to go to the Garden, but like, the Knicks weren't that good to watch. Like, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was fun to be there, but I wasn't having fun watching them. I used to go for Ranger games here and there when I would watch them play the Bruins and stuff, but like, that was I've never been to a UFC fight there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'd be a fun one.
basketball.
I
is
wish more
just
people
not
went
as
to
fun.
watch because you and I just talked about it. I wish more people would watch the preliminary fights there because
Yeah, it was empty
It
in
was
the stands,
empty.
and that's what's wild
Empty.
to me. Like, you watch it live on whatever ESPN it is or whatever on the prelims, and it's like you'll see a handful of people here and there. Guilty, I'll be one of them. If I'm paying my $400, $500, $600, even $1,000 a ticket, my ass is
Right.
sitting there as long as possible. But there's some people that show up only for the pay-per-view, and it's crazy how quickly it fills in at 10 o'clock.
And it's funny too because the main events did not do that great. They were kind of So
Yeah, like, everyone missed out on all the good prelims. If you
Yeah.
didn't show up at the Garden, if you had a ticket and you did not sit there and watch the prelims, you missed out on the best fights of the night, hands
Oh,
down.
You showed up to watch people roll around.
Yeah. And like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of times where, like, if they're doing good technical grappling and they're working on getting on the finishes or doing, like, trying to maneuver out of them, like, sometimes they're really, really good grapples that are 3 rounds of straight grappling. This was not one of them. It was terrible grappling. Like, it was just
Yeah.
holding each other at best.
Yeah.
Just barrel rolling and bear hugs.
Barrel rolling and barrel.
Oh man. So speaking of the Garden, let's go into a quick NHL, NBA, and NCAA basketball segment. My 2 teams to watch for the NHL have been the Kings, the LA Kings, and the Colorado Avalanche. We're going to start incorporating a little bit of the fall and winter sport, I guess the winter sports, since baseball's done, NASCAR's done, and we just have football now. So Kings and Avalanche out to a hot start. So the Devils. Devils are playing pretty well too. Early in the season for all these sports, but we definitely want to do some coverage on them. NCAA basketball, a lot of teams are 4-0. Houston's up there, Purdue's up there. They're both, I mean, a lot of these teams haven't played a lot unless a lot of good teams unless they've played in some opening tournaments where they're playing some ranked opponents. I saw Houston won pretty handily the other day. So definitely something to watch out for, but nothing too crazy until we get towards March Madness, which will be fun. I think we should do a March Madness bracket as a group and invite any of our listeners to do that as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, 100%.
So,
Definitely
I just
do
did
that.
I just did my NCAA draft right before we started filming
Okay.
this, and I took Houston with my first pick
Okay.
as my number 1 seed, my number 1 team. For it's a small little thing. You basically wins lose. You pick one from each conference, but right off the bat, I took Houston as my number 1 first round pick.
Yeah.
Definitely not a bad choice.
Yeah, not a bad choice. They were good last year as well. I'm interested to see kind of once we hit that game 8, 9, 10, who kind of stays up in the top and who kind of falls. I know the NIL has changed basketball a lot this year, so we'll see how that goes since years past. But last one, NBA. I know I don't care as much about it. I don't think you guys do either.
And I played basketball I'm tall.
Yeah.
So my whole life I played basketball growing up. I just don't have as much fun watching it anymore. I mean, I follow it here and there. It's not the same game as that I fell in love with. It's a sport though, so I'll turn it on. I mean, if it's on, I'll watch it. But it's
There's
not.
something else on for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't follow it as closely as I used to.
Same. Not so much for the NBA. For me, it was the NCAA. I guess like growing up in Connecticut, where you had the Lady Huskies, and I got so bored just watching them win all the time that I kind of like lost all interest in basketball.
Which is funny because
UConn
UConn men's won back to back. So, but yeah, it's
that was after I
interesting
moved out of the state.
I know, yeah, but still, but yeah, no, I mean, NBA hasn't. I miss the defense. I miss the rivalries. I miss that kind of thing. It's fun if you like a lot of shooting, a lot of scoring, a lot of dunking. If you don't want to watch it, if you're expecting them to play defense, they're not going to until it gets to playoffs and they start caring. And even then, they still don't play that great of defense. It's whoever can score the most points at this point. It's kind of like a little bit like MLB, where you're trying to score as many home runs as possible. But
Right.
the two teams I have to watch, good.
The peak of NBA was the Jordan era and Dennis Rodman and all those guys. Like that was peak NBA. I will die on that hill.
There's still some players that I think play like I really like to watch play. Like being a Sixers fan, I love the way Tyrese Maxey plays. I like watching him. I like the way he plays defense. There's some players I like. Just as a whole, there's only some.
Yeah.
There's not. I like the grimy players. Like, and a lot of people hate Draymond Green. I love Draymond Green. Is basically he would have been on the Trailblazers back in the '90s. He would have been on the Pistons when they were the bullies.
Pistons, the bullies.
Yep.
Yep.
He would have been one of those guys, and he would have fit right in. You just don't see it nowadays, and that's what people kind of don't embrace. Like, there's some guys that you like to watch play. Me, I like to watch the circus. I just can't wait for LeBron to,
retire.
Someone sneeze and I guess gouge his eye out with the quick, sharp breath so he can fall on the floor. Like my 3-year-old daughter has more, I guess, pain tolerance and guts than LeBron James does. So yeah,
Facts.
I said it.
God, I cannot stand him.
I hope this gets put into a clip.
Oh, it better.
Oh, it's going.
I think LeBron James. Don't get me wrong. I think he's got a great career. He deserves to be in the conversation of the GOAT, but he's killing his legacy with all the bullshit.
Just continue to, yeah.
Stay out of the media. If you're going to read a book and tell people you read a book, you should have probably read the book.
Yep.
And also,
he also tweets about stuff that has nothing to do with his sport or his team or anything. He tweets about politics or like football stuff. I get like football, but like it's a little,
I watch you to be entertained. Like I don't want to hear the politics. I want to watch you play. Get off the floor. You're a huge man. Stop flopping the flop.
Isn't he like 6 or something like that? 6'5"? Like he's a tall, big
guy.
dude.
He's 6'7",
6'6" or 6'7", one of the two.
Yeah, he's a big, large man that you could only go like this, and he would fall and rub the back of his head, which he should stop doing because that bald spot is getting worse and worse every time he takes an elbow.
Hold on, JB, I am sorry for this, but he acts like those dang soccer players that just will purposely act like they snapped their damn ankle for no reason.
I don't really watch soccer. I don't. Soccer's always like PLLs or Premier League is the only one I care about watching, and most of the time it's on at like 7 a.m. I'm not getting up to watch that on a Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah,
so
game times are
happening.
tough for that for sure.
Yeah. If they play at like 3 or 4 o'clock and no football's on, maybe football's on. Football takes priority to me. Speaking of flopping, though, I got to come back to it. Did you see that offensive lineman for the Cowboys? Just like, dude, he flopped 5 seconds after he was actually touched.
And even the ref was just like,
"Come on, dude."
He kind of looked at him like, "Come on,
come on, dude.
If you're gonna try to play the game, play it the right way."
Yeah,
the game of flop. I mean, of course.
Yeah. So the two NBA teams I have to watch out for are the Pistons. Speaking of the Pistons, and also the OKC Thunder. Shea has been off to a hot start.
Shea Alexander's a good baller.
He's a really good player.
He's a very well-rounded baller.
Yeah, and OKC. I mean, they were bad for a while between when Durant was there and then to now. So.
And the Pistons too, they weren't relevant for a while, but they're building something nice right now. They're fun to watch. We
should talk a little bit about the whole betting scandal, but we'll have to get into that next episode. I do some more research.
That's a whole episode. I would say that's a whole episode. I need to do more research on it because I do want to read up more on that.
It's an interesting one too, for sure. But let's head over to our buyers. Oh, go ahead.
Hold on real quick. Because NASCAR is over, I do want to talk about real quick the lawsuit. They have, so in case people that don't know yet, Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan of 2311 Racing and Front Row Motorsports, another team, are suing NASCAR, right? So Rick Hendrick and Roger Penske, got called in to do a deposition. And Rick is like, yeah, I don't really have time. And the judge is like, you're going to make time before December 1st. So as of right now, they are going to be going to trial December 1st. So I am going to be looking forward to see what comes out of this lawsuit for antitrust laws, I think it is, and monopolization of the sport. So
this will be interesting.
Yeah, silly season, because us NASCAR people, we call it silly season. Silly season is turning out to be interesting. Even though it's the off season, there will be stuff to touch on here soon.
Good.
Interesting. Some more NASCAR stuff to bring back in the off season. Love it. Let's head over to our buy or sell segment. I'm going to go left to right here. What you got over there, Chris, for your buy and sell?
So I am buying on Georgia Bulldogs going for another championship this year. Yeah, they kind of have a little weaker schedule. Like next week they're playing Charlotte. I mean, come on, like that's not even going to be that good of a game. Like, let's be honest here. But I think some of the stuff I've been watching Kirby call and do throughout the season is showing a high caliber that when they do get put into a tougher spot in the playoffs, that they're gonna succeed and go through.
Do you think, speaking of Georgia, do you think it's better to play a lot harder opponents at the beginning of the season to kind of prepare yourself, or like Ohio State, like Indiana, they're playing a lot easier opponents, and then when it's going to get tough, it's going to get tough for them? What would you rather, as a coach, be trying to schedule your team to play?
Go ahead.
For me, harder teams first. My opinion here is if you're going to sit there and do all these easy teams and coast your way into the playoffs when times get tough, your team isn't going to be all that ready because they're going to be expecting to just win with ease. They're not going to know how to play under pressure as much as they should. So I think, yeah, you want to sprinkle in some like easy teams, for the schedule, play the schedule the way, you're trying to get to the playoffs, obviously. But I think you need those harder teams to build that confidence and the knowledge of the season.
I agree. What about you, Todd?
I see that. My thing is, for the same reason I don't like bye weeks in the playoffs or sitting people in the preseason, is if you start out with a bunch of hard teams and then right before the college playoffs or whatever, you, for all intents and purposes, get a bye because you get easy teams. I don't want to go into the college playoffs a little lazy. I want to be at full go. So it is tough though, but like you said, like it is, you want to get up and going and see what you got and see where you're at. My fear is
also injuries and things like that could happen too.
Yeah, so I'd like to be full bore went right before the playoffs, so I'm like at full throttle, but I can see it both ways. I mean, honestly, in a perfect world,
I guess
every other game should be a hard
kind
team.
of like maybe ramp it up, like start easy and kind of ramp your way up into the playoffs that way.
I guess it also depends on how your teams in the conferences are, because like obviously if you're Alabama, Auburn's not that good this year, so it's like it depends on who you're playing and those teams. So.
And that's the thing with college ball is that there's the teams fluctuate so much throughout the year now, or throughout the years. Obviously, you got to have good recruiting and you can keep up that momentum, but you're not signing these guys for 6, 7, 8 years. You might be able to get 2 or 3 out of them, if that.
Yep.
Very true.
Okay, Chris, what you got? What are you selling over there?
I'm selling, we're going to go on to the bourbon side of this. I am selling this damn allocated season, these drops and secondary, because this is just annoying for people that are trying to buy at a reasonable price. Like I walked into a store the other day that I'm friends with. I buy a lot of my stuff there and I'm like, I see you have an E.H. Taylor barrel proof and they're like $250. And I'm like, I love you guys, but not that much. I'm just over it. Like it's becoming harder these days to get some of this stuff and I'm just tired of it. Like I can't wait for this bubble to pop.
I don't disagree, but I've also had a really expensive allocated month. So I'm like I'm in between. Like I have had some raffle wins, but still.
And like don't get me wrong, I don't mind paying a little over MSRP sometimes, but like when you have a $90, $120 bottle and you're asking $250 for it, and unfortunately they sell. Like they 100% sell.
That's the problem.
And it is the problem because the blue collar guys like me, I don't have the money to go blow with $250 on a bottle consistently. Like there's 3 bottles I can think of right now I'd spend $250 on, and that's MSRP.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the hard part too. A lot of these, with inflation, a lot of these limited time offerings are getting more expensive. I mean, it just is what it is. It's unfortunate. I mean, all the pappies, all the B-tax, they keep going up in price every year. So it is.
And
I
the
understand
MSRP
it.
is still reasonable, though. That's the problem.
It is.
It's still a reasonable price for MSRP. You just can't
Yep.
find them.
Yeah, and it's hard too. I mean, in Maryland, I know Todd. We're all in not great states for it, but it's I've had more access buying stuff from out of town than I've had in town. So.
Oh, 100%. Like the same store, they went to the safe. They're like, look what we have. And they held up a handy. And I was like, oh, cool.
Handy.
How much? And they were like 900. I'm like, you're out of your fucking mind. No. Like
This
that's
is
going
another
for
thing,
500.
I know we've had some issues with it where people are like build some relationships. Sometimes the stores just don't care about your relationship. They just want to make their money.
And like at the same time, like I don't necessarily blame them. Like because I know them so well, I know a lot of their cost on like per bottle stuff. So like sometimes they're making $5 a bottle, if that, so like their margins are a lot smaller. So if they have the opportunity to say like, okay, we bought enough Fireball, but our margin is so small that we can flip a bigger bottle at secondary and people are going to buy it. I mean, I don't blame them. I just don't like it.
Right.
Yeah, I also think that the craft side of things has also really impacted that. People aren't buying the regular shelf like Buffalo Trace as much. They're not buying that. They'd rather pay for a similar type bottle that is craft. So that's just how I feel about it. So, and those companies don't have a lot of allocation a lot of time unless you're like a smaller craft, which I don't think still Austin's craft anymore. They have some, but still.
They still have that craft flavor, but they are, I want to say mass production, but they produce a lot.
Okay, Todd, we're heading over to you for buy and sell.
Buy and
what you
sell.
got over there?
I am buying that Josh Allen is back, and hopefully he stays back with 6 total touchdowns, 3 passing, 3 rushing. He looked great in not the greatest weather. He looked like what you expect him to be all year, the reigning MVP. So I'm hoping he's back for good. And he's fun to watch. He's one of the players, like whether a Bills fan or not, he's a fun player to watch play. And he's been kind of average. So
he's also gotten a lot of his like old receivers back too. So we'll see. He's got Gabe Davis back,
and they benched Keon Coleman for the week, which was really weird.
Yeah.
After he had
speaking of benching, the CD Lamb and Pickens on the first drive was interesting too.
I think they were out. So the story is that they were out at the casino too late and they got caught. So the little smack on the wrist was benching for the first drive, which
ended up working out. They both had touchdowns.
Which we're going to come right back to that about that on my sell. But as far as the Keon Coleman, it's funny. He came off his second best game of the season last week to get benched this week. Made no sense to me. But let me get to my sell since you brought up that bullshit. I'm going to sell. Yeah, I swear. I'm going to sell my parlays and the NFL.
Your parlays only.
My parlays and my parlays.
I'm not doing hot this year either.
And the NFL and how weird it has been this year has been my worst year so far for parlays. Same game especially, but like first quarter or first drive, a CD Lamb catch sits out for the first drive. It's like, come on, like. You're not going to sit him out for the whole game and announce it. That's your punishment. Hey, here's 3 plays. Stand on the sideline. Both of you sitting there laughing at each other, then go off and go ham. But like it's been such a weird year where like a guy who should get a catch or 5 yards in the first quarter just doesn't, or the games go completely asinine like the Jaguars just whooping up last week. I have got to be done with same game parlays and just do anytime touchdowns or underdog, all that stuff. But man, it's been a bad year for that. Last night made me mad.
You could be better in pool host. You win some money.
The only thing I missed last night was 1 catch on the first drive for CD Lamb for a plus, I think, 1,000 bet, 10,500 bet, which would have been very wonderful for my pocket. But if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Fuck that thing.
Or just move to South Carolina where you can't gamble at all.
If you have a gambling problem, move to Delaware or South Carolina.
Or Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia, you can bet on teams. You can't bet on the players.
Or get a VPN, and you can bet anywhere. Just kidding.
You can bet anywhere.
I mean, yeah, can I do prize picks? Probably. I have. Yeah, I can do prize picks. That's about it.
Before I say more dumb shit, JB, What are you buying and selling?
I am buying Bourbon Friends, and I say this because I get a package like every week in the mail now, and it's mostly the guys from our Discord from Handshakes, and it just gives me a realm of stuff to try that I either don't have access to or just don't have. I mean, I had a President's Choice show up in the mail today from the 2025 release. So it's just it's a sample of it, but it's an awesome thing to have. We
Well,
none of us would be friends without bourbon, so
that's a
just
fact.
just bourbon and the camaraderie and the friendship, I think, is a fantastic one.
Well, to that point, like Chris had said about when you said about the relationships, they say about building relationships with stores. It's not
Yeah.
just stores; it's each other, like us, the bourbon community.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, being creators, you have a little more access to creators. Like we had some people comment about that. You can get if you want a certain bottle that I can get at MSRP, hey,
Why not?
we're going to be seeing each other. I'll pick it up. I'll get it for you, type of thing. Build those
Yeah.
relationships,
Yeah. Like, it's relationships outside of the stores that I find lately have been way more promising. And to
Yep.
speak on your point of the samples, like, I am a huge fan of like try before you buy, especially on some of this weirder stuff. So like being able to get your hands on a sample and then say, hey, I really like that. Can you grab me a bottle and like let me know how much it is shipped? That's fantastic.
Yeah, and I will
Versus just
say
winging it.
our segment for bourbon here after I finish my sell is about beginner bourbon. And I will say, don't spend your money right away on a lot of bottles. Find friends that have some collections that you can take some samples from, try it with them, things like that, because it saves your pocket. It saves you from buying something that you might not actually like. There's bottles upstairs. I know we probably all have bottles that we have not like that much and we bought and we were just like, we kind of regret it. I'm selling Alabama this week. They did not play well. Ty Simpson did not look good. And I don't know what's happening with Jam Miller, their backup running back. He's not played that much as of recent. So, but let's move over to the Bourbon segment. What you got over there for your beginner bottle, Chris?
What I think is a perfect beginner bourbon. Now, I'm a huge fan of not going for the bottom shelf. Not hating on Benchmark. I grew up on Jim Beam. They all have their place. But if you're getting into bourbon, I think going to the $40, $50 range and getting this Bardstown high wheat mash bill from the Origin series is the way to go. And the reason is because at 106 proof, it's a little hotter than what a lot of people will drink to start, but it gives the perfect way to start exploring with an ice cube, watering it down a little bit and trying to fine tune what you like. And then as you do that, you learn more about the bourbon in the process. So that's kind of why I like this one for that beginner. It's a good price range. It's good to taste as it is, but it's also good to explore with as well.
And you get those sweeter notes that the Bardstown, that the wheat has in general. And I think it's good for beginner bourbons that I feel like bourbon could be too harsh sometimes.
Yeah, a wheated bourbon is definitely the way to go.
Definitely.
Now we're doing our honorable mention. Oh, for sure. Are we doing our honorable mentions?
We'll come back around. We'll get Todd.
Okay.
What you got, Todd?
Me. So I wasn't sure when we did this episode what we were doing, if beginner price point or beginner palate for it. So I kind of had it both ways, I kind of went the more of the beginner palate rate way, because when you don't want to just jump in and go like the wheated, they're a good palate starter. You don't want, if you never had bourbon before and you don't have the ability to test, you don't want to just go buy something because you saw online that this guy thought it was really good. It's 123 proof or it's double oak. You don't know if you like the oaky taste. The Elijah Craig Toasted, to me, is a great bottle for someone who's somewhat new to bourbon, not a person who drinks just like Jack and Coke, where you get a decent bottle at a decent price and you get a toasted flavor that's not overbearing or overpowerful. So you get a little bit of like, what does the toasted taste like without really, really being overbearing on your palate. So I went the taste route, not the cost route, of to something that's a great way to just kind of get used to seeing what is a toasted like. It's low proof. It's 94 proof. Not going to burn you. Not going to give you a really big Kentucky hug at the end. It's going to be an easy way to introduce like someone who's over at your house. Like, I want to try something. I'm new to this. This is an easy one for having them try.
Yeah,
I got to say,
go ahead.
I'm not much of a Elijah Craig toasted person, but I think the toasted does bring down the spice of the Elijah Craig that's usually there.
Mm-hmm.
That makes it more approachable for a beginner. I will agree on that.
I feel like with the toasted, you got a lot more almost marshmallow, a little more kind of graham cracker in a sense. It makes me feel like I'm by a fire. I don't know why, but it just does. And
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
even the 94 proof regular, if you can find a 94 proof pick 10 years and above, awesome buy as well. But the 94 proof as a whole across the board for Elijah Craig is a really good beginner. Bourbon, Rise, two are pretty good. And my bottle this week was the John J. Bowman single barrel 100 proof. These are starting to become a lot more available. Don't overpay for it. It's a $60 bottle, but absolutely fantastic one. I know it's $60 here. It might be less where you are depending on your tax and all that. But if you don't know, this is distilled in Kentucky by Buffalo Trace, and it is aged and bottled here in Virginia, not here. I'm in Maryland, but in Virginia.
You can
It is
see it
aged in
over the water.
I can see it. No, but this is a great one. It's out of Virginia, and it's a fantastic 100 proofer, super easy sippable. Has that nice dark fruits, obviously the caramel and oak as well. But what you got over there for your honorable mention, Chris?
All right, I have two quick honorable mentions. Actually, both of them are 100 proof as well. We have these Four Roses red labels. They have 3 different mash bills. If you can get your hands on all the mash bills, it is a great way to explore.
Yeah, technically 4. They have 4.
Yeah,
because the
4,
original
4,
one's
you're right.
OBSB with the brown label.
Yep. But if you can get your hands on them, it's especially all 3 bottles. It is a great way to explore how the yeast strains and all the different mash bills, on top of just the aging process, can really affect, how the flavor profile of a bourbon is. And being 100 proof, it's super easy to sip. I put it in cocktails a lot too, old fashions, Manhattans, things like that. I think it's great for that because of how flavorful Four Roses is. And lastly, I haven't opened mine yet. Well, my backup. Bottle and Bond 7-year Heaven Hill.
That's a good one.
Which is Elijah Craig product.
$40 or something. No, Elijah Craig is a Heaven Hill product. Get it right.
So it's true.
Same
Other way
thing.
around.
Yeah. So you're
Other way
right.
around.
You're right.
That bottle and
Other way
bond.
around.
That bottle and bond is good. It's a good bottle and bond.
It's so good. It's so approachable. It's delicious. Like, it's obviously the 100 proof bottle and bond. You can't go wrong with it. And that's what Heaven Hill is
It's
known
40,
for, is their bottle stuff.
$45.
Yeah,
Yeah.
40 or $45. So it's everywhere. And they're coming out with picks now, or have been.
They're
at
picks,
least.
yeah.
Like, people
Picks
are
are coming out
getting
now.
store picks of it. So it's like, you can even pick one of those up.
Yeah. They're a dime a dozen on the picks, but definitely a really good bottle. One of my first bottles I ever finished and that I ever bought from in terms of bourbon when I started kind of coming into it. What's your honorable mention over there, Todd?
Honorable mention, and I'm going to piggyback off your Bardstown wheat, is basically right here. Anything in the Bardstown Origin series for their approachable taste with an affordable price. They're all going to be 40, 50, maybe you might get up to 60, all right around 100 proof, pretty easy to drink with decent flavor profiles, like especially their rye, which we tricked you on.
Didn't trick me on. It did not
does
taste
not
like
taste
a
at
rye
all like
whatsoever.
a rye. Now, if you want to learn what a rye tastes like, I wouldn't go that route, but their Origin series and Bardstown in general, all of it is right there at that price point where it's affordable for a beginner and it's got enough taste, but not too much palate for someone beginning drinking.
Hold on. Can I add? Hold on. I want to add to that Bardstown, the Fusion series. A lot of people I've talked to recently are not buying the Fusion series because they're like, oh, it's a blend. Blends are phenomenal. I think adding to
Bardstown
the Origin series
does the best blends, I feel like, besides Barrel.
Yeah. And the Fusion series is a great, inexpensive blend that they release. I think they're like $60, so it's a little bit higher in price, but you want to learn about how blending whiskey can change profile, go with the Fusion series on Bardstown.
I love that Bardstown puts all the mash bill, the percentage on the sides. It's really nice to know kind of where it's coming from. And I know we've all talked about why does it just say bottle by. So it is a, but I will say, piggyback on what you said, Todd, you can actually buy a kit. It has 4 smaller bottles of the Bardstown collection. It has the white, the Bardstown wheat, the green label, and the black label all in there. And it's an easy, I think it's like $25,
and that gets
you
you
get
it
a nice
all.
box with it.
The blacks,
and you can try them all.
The black's the bottled and bond,
pour or two,
right? Yeah, black's the bottled and bond. The green's the rye. The white is their bourbon, but it's also kind of a blend. And then the wheat.
Well, it's a high rye bourbon, I think.
Yep, I think so.
Yeah, it's a 36% rye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that was the first Bardstown I heard when Forbes had it as the bourbon of the year 2 years ago, and that's what really got me onto Bardstown was that exact one you just pulled out.
Yeah, because the that high rye, the white label, the high rye, and the high wheat are so good.
All right, JP, what's your honorable mention?
My honorable mention is, I know Chris loves Knob Creek and Jim Beam as a whole. The Knob Creek
Facts.
12-year. It is the perfect amount of age and 100 proof. I keep coming back to this bottle. I know they keep releasing the 15, the 18, now the 21. This bottle, $60. You cannot go wrong. It gives you that nice 100 proof, so it's not killing your palate, but you're learning what higher age is beyond 10 years. I will say most of the bottles that you can get that are available as regular shelfers, not as special releases or allocated, are all 10 years old. But this one, 12 years old, gives you that nice oak, but it also gets you the nuttiness that Jim Beam, and I will say Elijah Craig, Heaven Hill also does. So my honorable mention here. And sleeper honorable mention, I have the Rickhouse proof, but this is the Holiday soft red wheat. Fantastic bottle. I love they put the where it's from on the side. Such a cool thing. If you can find it, I think they have an 8-year now, so 8 or 9 year. So go find those. They're fantastic. And the old screw top's really nice. Love that.
And the 100 proof offering is still delicious.
Yeah, they got the regular 100 proof and they have the soft red wheat, a bourbon and soft red wheat. And they have a couple cool cave collections and things they do all the time as well. I want to go into glassware for beginners. Does anybody have a rocks glass on you?
All mine are stowed away.
Todd's got one. They're
not within reach.
Yeah. That's fine. Just keep it there. Okay. So next we're going to move into some glassware. Our preferred is probably a little bit different than what we tell you about in the beginning. I think the first one that people are somewhat used to for going to bars and things is the rocks glass or the old-fashioned glass, however you want to say it. Todd has one over there. Super easy to find. Most places have them. You can buy them online. It's what you normally get an old-fashioned in. You can buy the rocks. You can buy them on Amazon. And it comes with the set to make the actual ice as well. If your fridge doesn't make it now, which my fridge makes it now, which is awesome. But
It's a nice feature.
It's a really nice feature. But I know for us, we're a little different. You're used to drinking it a little different. I know Chris and I are both drinking out at Kenzie Drams, which I do like. It's a nice weight at the bottom. These are both from Short Barrel. I sent that one to Chris.
That one's in the cabinet. I have one from a brewery. I honestly have one from a brewery. Well, it's got my favorite logo on it. It's you probably can't see. It's a little turtle made out of hops. Yeah.
I've been liking the Kenzie Drams more. I was always into, I know most of us drink out of Glencairn's. Todd's over there flexing a mini Glencairn, which I really love. Keeps you from drinking a lot if you don't want to drink too much.
This is when you just want to especially if you want to try something that you've never tried or you want to taste something.
Or you're doing samples or something like that. Like,
I would say
if you're pouring a sample.
Insider tip: bring a mini Glen to a bottle share for that exact reason.
Mm-hmm.
You bring a big Glen.
They even make ones with lanyards so you don't lose your. I
actually have
Glen.
one of those right in front of me.
I got one right over there.
I have one over there too.
I should have worn it.
You know what? We should do a video of us just wearing them.
But I like
just wearing it. Just don't say anything about it.
It's also like, hey, I'm going to be responsible. I'm just going to drink a little bit, have a little bit. But then you could be like me and just continue to refill the mother.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you're at a bottle share or you're at like KBF, things like that, like, yeah, you're going to continue to do it. But I feel like it's a lot easier to just go with half-ounce pours. Whereas like a Kenzie or a Big Glen, you're walking around a bottle share and it's like, that's probably 2 ounces right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's so easy to do that. Next thing you know, you're 8 pours deep in the bag.
This is for the responsible weeknight drinking.
I also recommend these mini spies. I think they're Wisdom Drops. There's 2 different names for them, but you can buy those on Amazon in a pack of 6. They're fantastic. They're a little bit smaller.
Is that the one with
the regular?
Is that the one with like the little bulb in the bottom?
Is that the Weeble Wobble? Is that the Weeble Wobble one?
I don't know.
I have the Weeble one we got from, it's right back here. It's the same kind of thing, but this one is, they actually put it on a concrete and would like smack it so it would fall over and it would ping, 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 right back up.
I don't think this one is, but
don't try it.
I won't. All I know is I got mine from Jim Beam, the one that you have there. Like that was the tasting glass on the tour.
I got mine from Whiskey Thieves. It's such a weighted bottom and it's rounded, so it rolls right back to center. It's also good for spilling. Like if you knock it, it'll go, but it'll come right back up.
I feel like I need that with the dogs in the house. Just
when you're doing a lot of tasting, it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah,
like,
I will say
I'm a fan. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So I'm a fan of the Kenzie Dram. Like, but circling back to what you said with the weight. I like the weighted bottom. Like, yeah, okay. Most of my videos and shit always have me using a a Glencairn, but like I don't drink from that normally. I always have a Kenzie as my normal neat sipper.
That's because Glencairn's just tradition. Like,
Yeah, it
it's
is
Right.
tradition.
It's
It's an old
I do-
Scotch tradition.
but I like drinking from Glencairn, so I do.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I do like it, but like at the end of the day, if I'm gonna just sit there and watch some TV, it's gonna be the Kenzie Dram. I just think it's really comfortable in the hand. It still gives.
I
like,
will say the benefit of the Glencairn is the bottom holder, whereas I feel like you have to hold the Kenzie a little higher. That's the only difference
but
that
when
I really see.
But when I'm sitting there watching TV, it's sitting on my coaster.
This is a lot heavier than this is.
Yeah, less likely for my dog to knock it over.
When I'm sitting watching a movie, I just get a straw, stick it straight in the
straight
bottle.
from the bottle. Why get a straw? Just go for it.
How
Just
did
gotta go
you
for the
just have
full-
the straw sitting back? You got it in the drawer.
My entire bar is right here.
Yeah, I would say his bar's right behind him. Let's be honest.
I know, but still,
I do.
I will say, starting with the rocks glass and putting it on ice as you're starting to be like, I don't like the water down, you can start to go more to still use the rocks glass, but use either a straw with some tiny droplets, or you can get a little, what's the word for it? Like it's like a little droppers.
A dropper.
Yeah, a little eyedropper. Yeah. You can put some water in there, add a drop, swirl it around, try it, and just keep adding more.
Turkey baster.
So, yeah,
Turkey
right.
baster.
Big old baster. When
It's
we
almost
were
Thanksgiving.
starting off, we didn't even use droppers. We would just have like a bottle because like the water around here is kind of shit. Like it's kind of harsh. So we would use like water bottles, and we would just do like a cap full, just a little cap, dump in there.
Yeah. I will say, like, drink it how you like it, but if you're trying to get into it and you're like, I'm not getting these flavors, I'm not getting this or that, add some water to it, keep tasting it. It's not a easy thing to just be like, oh, this tastes like that. I mean, I think I've been in it a year and a half now. I still don't get flavors that some people do, and I think it also helps to be with friends. If you're drinking some things at the same time, you're like, oh, that's what I get. I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, 100%. You don't always get them right away.
You know, and honestly, like circling back to your statement there, like you don't get the same notes that other people do. That's the good thing about the amount of creators that are out there. Like go watch a ton of reviews on the same bottle from different people, because everyone's palate's different, and then you can start to align with certain people that have the same flavors as you, so you can learn what you like from there.
Mm-hmm. I heard a really good thing on a podcast today, that you should actually pick one distillery at a time and start and go just all Wild Turkey or all Elijah Craig and get the flavor note down for that brand, and then kind of go to the next one and start building, and not just buying a whole bunch of different bottles, because you'll kind of conflict your palate and make your be like, okay, that's like that, and that, so I thought that was actually a great take that I would suggest doing, instead of buying a ton of, buy a brand that has a ton of offerings like Bardstown, where you can get like 5 or 6 bottles or options and just try them one at a time and build your palate that way.
So to speak on that, as much as I love Bartown and I obviously recommend it, I think it's actually one of the harder ones to align with. Yeah, because they have so many different offerings with the Fusion, the Collaborative, the Origin series, everything.
I feel like JD would be a good one to do that.
Well, that's actually what I was going to say. I think like JD and Old Forester for me have like really strong banana notes. Like I think those two are really good for that. Your Jim Beam profiles are very nutty. Your Heaven Hills are very soft.
Craig, yeah, soft nuttiness. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Elijah Craig, even though it's Heaven Hill, does have a soft nuttiness, but like a lot of like Larceny, Heaven Hill, Fighting Cock. What's the other one they have? There's like a couple more from Heaven Hill that are like
Mellowcorn.
similar Yep, Mellowcorn. They all have like similar. No, Mellowcorn, not really, but a lot of Heaven Hill stuff is like a similar profile that like you can align with those. I think Bardstown always will recommend it. I think if you're trying to stick to that rule of one, is not the one to do that with. If that makes sense.
There are a lot of blends.
Yeah,
they have a lot
which
of
is
blends,
great
yeah.
because it's great for exploring, but not if you're learning.
No, I mean, I was a cool thing to hear. I was like, wow, that's a great idea, and it alleviates you from buying a ton of bottles at one time, or buying like a brand like this from Bardstown and this from Jack Daniel's and this from that. And it's nice to have those different flavor offerings when you're us now having a lot more experience to being a beginner again. It's definitely different, and join groups and clubs like 10 Glen Society. Blinds are also great too. If you can do some blinds, even if it's 2 bottles, could be nothing similar. It really gets you to be like, oh, I like that, when you had no idea that you thought you didn't like that brand. So
Makes a lot of sense.
And I prefer doing blinds of 2 wildly different bottles because it helps find the contrasting flavors, in my opinion. That's what I like to do, at least. I know some people like to do similar ones.
The control flavors stay, and the crazier flavors kind of morph out, and you taste those differently.
Yeah.
I will say one thing, last thing that I said earlier, get the try samples from your friends. These bottles, you can buy them as well for friends. I recommend buying the 1 ounces, not the 2 ounces, because you go through a lot more whiskey that way, and you get half 2 ounces like this. While this is George C's Day. But definitely find some friends, find a group that will allow you to have some samples, win some samples, however you need to do it, and go from there. And if you need anything, reach out to Game Set Mash or any of us, and we can help you through the journey.
Good point.
And remember, always drink it how you like it.
Exactly.
Fast.
Always.
You can drink it in any glass, on the rocks, over with Sprite or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's how you like it and how you enjoy it. I mean, Elmo drank it with Sprite, so I mean, what are you gonna do?
And Booker liked to flavor his water with a couple drops of bourbon. That was his tea.
It's a good tea.
That was a
I'm
good.
not kidding.
Good.
I'm not kidding. No, my Booker's batch up there, or like whatever it's called. It's not Jimmy's batch. It's the other one I have. It literally is Kentucky tea. No, the Kentucky tea batch literally says, "Oh yeah, my dad likes to add like 1/4 of an ounce into his glass of water, so it's like flavored."
I'm gonna try that.
It's a good idea.
It's literally how he drank it. So drink it how you want. If you want a pint in a glass with 1/4 ounce of bourbon, freaking do it.
On the next episode, we'll have some bourbon water.
That's actually not a bad idea. We are the Brown Water Club.
Yeah, right.
Okay, y'all. Thank you all for watching the Game Set Mash podcast.
Cheers.
We'll see you all on the next one. Cheers.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment.
And we'll see you all on the next one.